Hey friends, welcome back to another video, and this one is obviously a September plan with me if you read the title below or anything. Congrats to you if you did. I thought that I would do something a little bit less traditional, and that I'm going to be showing you guys a sped up version of what I did to plan for September, and then also just talk about life and stuff. And this was heavily inspired by Cheyenne Barton here on YouTube. I'll link her channel below because it's honestly incredible. So yeah. As you can see, for September, I'm drawing a massive leaf. I traced this bad boy out from the template that I found online, and I cut it out on heavy paper so that I could rest my pencil against it and outline. I decided to just do it in pencil first and then trace over the pencil on camera because that made the most sense, so that's why you're seeing all these vague pencil outlines, some of which I just decided not to follow because I'm a rebel? I don't know. Anyway, I know that September isn't technically the beginning of fall until almost the end of the month, but fall is my favorite month, fall, autumn, whatever you want to call it. And I was dreading the start of my final semester of college so much that I wanted to just do something that would make me happy. So I just did a really aggressively fall-themed spread. Well, it's not super aggressive, I guess, but there's a leaf, so that's pretty aggressive as far as I'm concerned. I usually get excited for the start of school, but this past weekend, which heralded the beginning of the school year, for me was pretty bleak. A lot of stuff happened in the span of less than 24 hours that kind of gutted me a little bit, and that was really hard to get past. So waking up on Monday morning for class, that kind of emotionally bankrupted me because I'd spent the whole weekend being emotionally bankrupt. And I'm very thankful that I have friends on the internet that I can talk to, which I know sounds very vague, but I have two wonderful friends, one of whom I've met in person, and the other one who I want to meet in person someday, who I think that I really started turning to them for context and advice and just to rant because they're both Christians, so they share my faith, and because they both are farther along on this thing of adulthood than I am, so they have kind of a different perspective than I do, and more life experience, and that helps because there's not a lot of people that I can go to for advice that are older than me that have such a mature perspective, but they've both been through things, and so because I've also been through things, they're not as inclined to poo-poo my experiences as some other adults in real life that I know are. Also, fun fact, when I was outlining this, I remembered a technique that I read about online once, which is to pull curves and push lines when you're writing, meaning that when you're writing a straight line, instead of dragging down like I did, you're supposed to push your pencil up from bottom to top, and when you're doing a curve, you should pull it down from top to bottom. So that was a really interesting thing that I learned. I'm doing it all wrong here, as you can see, but there I did a little bit of a pulling of a curve, but yeah. Also, fun fact, that leaf failed. So I realized when I was coloring it in that the green was too dark and was showing through to the leaf on the front. And the pages of my Leuchtturm are really thin, so I'm not surprised there was a lot of ghosting, but I decided it looked really bad, so I just covered it up with some paper. You'll see that in a bit, but in case I go off on another tangent, I wanted to let you know. Let's see, what else should I talk about? Aside from the bleak weekend, things have been okay. Not good, not great, but okay. I'm starting the process of seeking postgraduate employment, which is a trip. I'm a strange case in that matters of financial stability aggressively trigger my PTSD. Not being financially stable is my worst nightmare, and then my second worst nightmare is my mom dying, so you can see the severity. And it's hard for me to imagine a life in which I'm living on my own because that's a lot of stress on so many levels, but I know that I was meant to do this, and so I figure the right thing will come along, the right opportunity, the right whatever. It's still hard though, not knowing the future. I'm the kind of person that has to plan for everything, so when I can't plan for something, it only heightens my anxiety, which is already through the roof 90% of the time. So that's not exactly helpful all the time to experience. Also, can we appreciate the fact that I've never gone outside the lines once? It's not a trick of the camera, I truly didn't. I'm very proud of myself for that, because usually I'm that person that goes outside the lines because I don't have a very steady hand, but that's I'm proud of myself. That's pretty snazzy of me. Good job, Amanda. A friend of mine, one of the aforementioned internet ones, she recently finished editing a poetry book of mine that I had compiled on a whim. This is the same friend that I went to visit in New York City and brought that tiny little book to. It's in one of my old vlogs. I'll have it linked in the card if you want to watch it, because it was a pretty good time. But she asked me if I would put together a book like that of my own poems, and I was thinking of it in theory, but then I started trying to find pictures to illustrate it with, and I couldn't find anything. And then I was like thinking, you know, what am I going to do? Like, make these books and then no one's going to want them except like one person. And while, of course, any one person that I make happy with something that I do is worth it, I'm just kind of like, you know, why am I even bothering to share my writing? Why am I even bothering to share anything? Because someone could do it so much better. And no one really needs my voice. And like all these other like thoughts were coming into my head, and it was really tough to kind of, because the thing is, I can convince myself that anything is meritorious. I can convince myself that anything I think about myself is true. And one of my friends, she's always yelling at me to like be a little bit better with the way I talk to myself, which, to be fair, I probably should be. I just feel really conceited, you know, trying to talk myself up, because I don't really think it's my place to talk about myself. I think like other people should say nice things about me, and I should just be aware of my flaws. And if no one else says anything nice to say about me, then that must mean I'm not doing anything good enough, if that makes sense. So it's kind of hard to practice self-love when I have such a weird view of that. This is getting kind of heavy. Okay, also, I hate glue sticks. Am I the only one that really, really hates glue sticks? Because, like, they don't work for me. Also, I have no idea how to write. I mean, I took cursive class, but there you go. Okay, there, I'm pushing a line. You happy? Pushing a line. Although then I realized that, like, they were getting kind of wonky looking. I know on camera they don't look bad, but in real life they looked pretty bad. So I just got a ruler, because your girl doesn't really know what she's doing, and it was just better. And at the time, this was like 11:30 at night, and I was watching a Netflix movie because I couldn't shut my brain off to sleep, and so I was just like, I'm just gonna stay up late and to like get tired and whatever. And like my body usually has a pretty consistent alarm clock, and so will consistently wake me up and put me to bed when it's supposed to be, but the past couple nights have not been the case. And which is a good thing, because at the time you're watching this, I'm exactly midway through my first week of classes. I have classes every single day. And I already have so much reading to do, and I have a signed textbook that we only were told about on the first day of classes, and it's not available anywhere. My professor was like, oh, I put it in the bookstore, and no, you didn't. It's not there. The employee confirmed it, so I sent her an email going, hey, it's not there. And here's a screenshot to prove that it wasn't filed with the department, or however that works, I don't know. Plus, my department still owes me $800 of pay for a workshop I did. And that's fun. They sent me the first installment, but not the second, so I don't like confrontation on a personal level. But, you know, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. And I kind of want that money, putting it in savings for whenever it is I move out the house. Oh, by the way, this brown paper is from Muji. They have like pads of it for super cheap when I was in New York in August. Or whenever, in August. I picked up a pad. They're not sticky on the back, which is really nice. It's like a pad of loose brown paper, and I bought it specifically for this purpose. I thought the ripped brown paper added a nice edgy style to the fall thing I was going for, a little bit of an accent. So this is my monthly spread. You guys know this if you watched my bullet journal flip through. And the page opposite it is for memories, like little physical mementos of the things that have happened throughout the month. So if I like take pictures there, or like little business cards of places I went, or whatever the case may be, ticket stubs. And then these are trackers for school, one for each class. I'm taking 4 classes this semester, good old 13 credits. 1 credit above full-time, because I'm an underachiever. This is going to be to keep track of all my assignments. This spread was inspired by Caitlin's Corner on YouTube. I'll link her channel below. Her channel's awesome. She does a lot of spreads for people that aren't artistically inclined, so if you're like me and you can't draw, There you go. She's helpful. Also, please tell me in the comments if the sound sounds funny. I have a really nice mic. I'm still learning how to use it, and I'm trying to position my head the perfect place to like get good volume, but sometimes, like, habitually I pull my head back. And so if I do that and the sound gets funny, please tell me. I'm trying to make the voiceover as unedited and organic as possible, but I also don't want it to sound like garbage, you feel me? Anyway, this spread is going to be to track my assignments, so I'm going to write down my assignments and when they're due, and also just some basic class information. I didn't fill these in on camera because I wanted, safety first, obviously. I want to make sure that no one's stalking me in class or whatever. I wanted to put something like that in that blank space, but I don't know what I'd put there, so I just kind of gave up on that idea. Most of my classes have a lot of readings due, and I know a lot of students are like, oh, well, I don't have to do the readings, but I kind of do. The journalism school is really big on pop quizzes, so I might get pop quizzed on anything that we read. The reading's pretty interesting. I'm taking a photojournalism class where the reading is like literally the photojournalist style guide and handbook, and then also a book just about how to like the practice of photojournalism. And I've never had formal experience in photography or videography. I've had a little bit of experience in videography, but only with like real cameras, like TV style cameras, not like DSLRs. So I don't know what I'm doing, but we get to make prints and have them mounted and stuff, and that's like super cool to me that we get to do that. I don't know, it's just nice to have something physical left over from my classes instead of just like papers with grades on the top of them. It'd be nice to like make something a little bit more permanent. Here's a weekly spread. You know the drill. Work on one side, personal on the other. Later on, I didn't do it in this video because I thought of it, today when I was sitting in class. I might make a bucket list of things I want to do during my last semester at school, because there's things that I want to do that I haven't done or haven't done in a while. Like I want to go back to the club I started my very first semester and see how they're doing, and I want to go to a football game, and I want to go to one of their free food Friday events. All these things that like other students that don't have the time and financial constraints that I do could do. I want to do just once, just to see what it's like. I don't really feel like I had like the traditional college experience like a lot of my peers did, because like I said, I had to work a lot and I had to do a lot of other things that a lot of my age mates didn't necessarily have to do, which is okay. We all have our stuff, but it would be nice to try some stuff out. Anyway, this is the last looks, kids. Hope you enjoyed this style of video. Let me know if there's another style you'd like me to do more, because I'm more than happy to do whatever it is the most palatable for your viewing, and that way if you want to copy these spreads, you're not miserable and suffering. So just let me know, whatever works for you. Also, those cheap yellow pencils have the freaking best erasers on the planet. Get yourself some of these, guys. I'm not kidding. They're better than pearl erasers in my experience. It's so great. So I definitely recommend, if that's your jam. Anyway, for those of you that are starting school soon, I hope that you guys have a good semester/year. If you hate school, I wish I knew what to tell you. It will be over soon. It will be over faster than you think it will be. Try not to let the passage of time freak you out, for better or for worse, because time is the same for everyone, and you can do whatever you want with the time you have. In theory, you could spend your time however you wanted, just the consequences are what are less than desirable. So view your time as something you control, and then make conscious choices with it, and that'll help you take ownership, and maybe it won't make everything feel so bad. One of the ways that I try to make sure that I'm taking care of my time is making habit trackers. I tried doing a weekly one instead of a set of monthly ones, because I find that I did use them, I did fill them in, but I found myself not doing them every day. I'd do a bunch of them over the week. So I just did a little piece of paper with glue. I did end up going back and taping it down instead of gluing it down, because the glue didn't hold very well, which, what the heck. So double-sided tape will be your best friend. And this doesn't look the neatest because I can't draw a straight line to save my life, but I kind of like how kitschy and crooked it looks. It's kind of cute, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, take it as someone who's going into their last year ever of formal education. It goes really fast. And remember that school isn't everything that matters. Grades are not everything. They are a lot when you're in high school, I'm not gonna lie, and they are a lot when you're in college, especially depending on your course of study, but you are not your grades. And that's something I've had to tell myself a lot. You are a sum of so many things. That's something I forget a lot, that I'm not just a person that cranks out A's on papers. So just remember that, and take care of yourselves during the course of this school year. I don't want anything to happen to you guys because you burnt yourselves out. So enjoy some looks at the journal. I'll update you guys on how things turn out, and keep an eye out for more back to school videos coming soon. Thank you very much for watching, you guys. It was awesome to get to talk with you, and let me know how you feel about this video in the comments. Bye!